Once a year, a remote Russian research station is the location for the North Pole Marathon. The competitors from across the globe pay around $20,000 to take part, and they're flown in here on a special jet.
Well, I've been doing marathons for over 15 years now on 7 continents, running marathons and ultras, but I have never experienced anything like that. It is phenomenally cold. It's hard to explain. I don't have the words to explain just how cold I am right now. The game plan for this unique race is to survive it. I think for everyone here, merely getting to the finish line, getting the North Pole Marathon medal will be a phenomenal achievement.
60 runners took to the start line in temperatures of -30°C. At this time of the year, there is 24 hours of daylight, and the race began at 10:35 p.m.
The fact that I'm going to be running from about 10 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the morning, and the temperature will drop, and actually the fact that I'm quite tired because the travel to get here, from the UK then Svalbard onwards, is quite tiring. So actually I think that the thing that I am worried about is, will my body cope with the tiredness and the conditions?
I think we're on top of the world, and I mean, who comes here? Who does this? This is crazy, and we're here. We're doing it.
3, 2, 1, go!
The marathon consisted of 10 laps of a pre-prepared course. To combat the extreme cold, the runners were covered from head to toe in specialist polar gear. Wearing bib number 35 was Aririos Papathanasopoulos, and the doctor from Greece took an early lead. For those chasing, it soon became apparent that this challenge was tougher than they'd anticipated.
It's really hard!
It's tough, it's really tough. Stretch here is nice. Out there, the first couple of K, deep snow. Tough, tough, tough. Cold, but hot.
It wasn't just experienced marathon runners who were tackling the 2018 edition of this race. There were visually impaired and amputee athletes taking part too. There were also 2 race entrants of the 4-legged variety. Australian Marcus Fillinger was running with 2 husky dogs, Duro and Blue, to raise funds for an animal charity.
It's what they do, and as you can see by the way I look after the dogs, it's like, if you can provide comfort for them and make it as enjoyable as possible. I mean, it is really cold up here. This is the top of the world. It's actually even colder than where they live in Longyearbyen, so it is testing for them, but once again you make it enjoyable for them and keep them as comfortable as possible.
As the race progressed, the 46-year-old Greek doctor remained in the lead.
Okay, so we're 3/4 of the way through the race for the leading male.
Amongst the women, China's Gao Pingji headed the field. As the mercury continued to drop, some of the runners began to struggle with the conditions.
It's like marathon disable, but short and cold.
It's very tough going. You can't really tell just how cold it is. My feet are completely frozen. I have to go into the tent after 5 laps because my hands were so numb I wasn't even sure if I had hands anymore.
There was an aid tent available to the runners, offering them a chance to refuel and briefly escape the elements.
Excellent.
After just over 4.5 hours, Aririos Papathanasopoulos was the first athlete to cross the finish line.
I'm a Greek guy, so this is not the right place for me. It's like an Eskimo is coming to run a race in the desert. Same feeling. It's not my environment. It was really difficult, but I'm so glad. It was really a big surprise for me. I could never expect that in North Pole I can be the winner.
In the race for second place, Dimitri Voloshin from Moldova beat Australia's David Field by just 12 seconds. Gao Pingji claimed the women's title in 6 hours, 43 minutes.
Very happy. It's very happy.
For most, finishing times were not important. Just completing the race was a major achievement in itself.
Good job. Woo! Thank you very much. Woo! That was awesome.
31, we'll have to get him.
Spectacular. Let's do it again. Well, maybe do it again next year. Once I've managed to be able to forget all the hard parts.
Good job, hold on.